Welcome to Embrace Your Brand, the podcast that inspires you to explore who you are beneath the surface, to share your personal stories that will connect you with your tribe, and encourage you to unleash your power within.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Embrace Your Brand. I want to share with you a personal story on something that happened to me and actually was something that really helped me to embrace the brand that I am working to create. I feel like sometimes it's difficult for us to really embrace ourselves, especially when we're doing things, solo. When we're building our own business, we're doing a lot of things ourselves, but there is magic when we get help from others, when we collaborate with others, when we seek some guidance and counseling. And I will say this, that as much as I've heard it over and over again, there is so much value to having advisors, to having people counsel you, to having coaches to help you, because even in the Bible, in Proverbs, who was written by the wisest man that ever lived, he says over and over again that there is so much value to having counselors in your life and helping you make decisions. So the same applies to us in our business and what we're doing. And this year in 2023, I have had the wonderful blessing of working with some coaches, a couple of different ones. I worked with a sales coach. I worked with a human design and business mentor. I have had friends that I've talked to, and there has just been so many good things that have come from those relationships. And even people that I've been in just groups with, that I didn't even pay for their advice, but just because we're in this common space, we're supportive and helping each other. So one instance in particular I wanted to talk about today, because this is where the entire, how do I want to say this? Like, the push and the nudge that I needed to actually step forward with this is kind of where this came from. I was blessed by a friend of mine. She reached out and was like, hey, I would love to give you just a free breathwork session. And so I scheduled that with her. We got on the call for that meeting and we talked about some things. She asked me some questions, and then we dove into the breathwork and the meditation portion. Now, I've done breathwork several times before, so I was already kind of, knowing what I needed to do, knowing what the experience was like, because the first couple times you do this, the experience is so strange. You're like, what in the world am I doing? How is this even going to work? But it's really just allowing you to let go of a lot of pent-up energy that you may be carrying, but it's not serving you, so that you can release that. Then you can calm your body and be able to listen quietly to that inner voice, that inner intuition, so you can know what things to move forward on. So in this particular instance, I remember that Lauren Marks, she was the one who was doing this. She was guiding me through this. And after the meditation portion, we talked about what came up for me. And one of the things was, I saw myself holding this ruby gemstone. Now, it wasn't a real ruby. It was probably one of those cheap paperweights that looks like a gemstone type thing. But I'm just the figurative imagination of holding this in my hand. It was telling me that what you have to give and help others with is as valuable as a real gemstone. It is a treasure for you to be able to give this to others to help them in their business and help guide them through balance in their life and their business and kind of integrating all that together. And it's like, it was that permission to move forward with that. Use that because God has given you this as a gift. If you are not using it, you're hiding this gem away, and no one's ever going to see its beauty. No one's ever going to value it because they don't know that it's there. They will value it and treasure it when they see it, when they experience it. And so if you have kind of, followed me on social media or seen the workbook that I put out, and even on my website, I have incorporated some red rubies into my branding because of this. And I just felt like I needed to put this in there so it's not just for you, but it's actually a reminder for me that what I am doing is worthwhile. What I am doing is so precious and valuable that I need to keep doing this. I don't need to hide it away, because a lot of times I can kind of self-sabotage where I end up thinking like, this is probably not going to be any good. Who would want this? But at the same time, I'm like, this is such great stuff. I know this would be so good if I put this out there. I really want to help women with growing their brand, embracing who they are, especially if they're a child of God, embracing the fact that God is on their side, that they are an ambassador for Him and for His love and everything that He does. I want to share something absolutely amazing with you, and it's my website. No, it's not just my website. It's actually the platform that I use to design and create and run everything for my website. It's called Shine Pages. It is one of the most amazing platforms I've come across yet, and just the fact that it's user-friendly, especially if you've not done website development before, or if you're just getting started. It's a great tool to get started because it also incorporates your email marketing, landing pages, contact forms, booking options, and so much more. It is something that I absolutely love, and one of the best things is I got to meet and connect with the designer of this platform. So I'm going to share with you guys my affiliate link. So if you want to use Shine Pages for starting or growing your business, then use this link and you can get started today. There will be the link in the show notes for you, or you can go to shinepages.com/a/embrace. So check it out. You'll love it. Because what often would make me really sad was when I would read the parable of the men who got the talents. The 1 talent man ended up hiding his, whereas those that had 2 talents and 5 talents, they used theirs and gained more. And it was like, what was wrong? What was going through that man's mind of why didn't he use his, especially if he could see that the others used theirs and gain even more. It's like, wouldn't that be cause enough to want to do the same thing? And I think we can get into that very same situation when it comes to the gifts that we've been given. We may see this on our heart of I really want to do this, to impact people in this way, but then we get hung up of, well, I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at that. I can't put it out there because it's not perfect yet, or I need more training, I need more of this or that. And in essence, it's just like taking that talent and hiding it away. And I'm like, I don't want to be that man. I don't want to be that person who hides it away. And in order to not be that person, you have to embrace what you've been given. More so than just, saying, oh, I'm grateful for this, and then never doing anything with it. You have to embrace it and know that, okay, if this is God-given, God's going to see me through on how I am meant to use this for His glory, how I'm meant to use this to serve others. And this is what I really want to embrace for myself. This is what I want you to embrace as well, is that if you have this idea, this calling on your heart, and you know that you want to put it out there, you know you want to do something about it, but yet you're feeling like really unsure about it, or you're feeling like, how do I manage this and everything else. I look at it like, let's look at the Proverbs 31 woman. When you first read about her, you're like, oh my goodness, how in the world does she do all of this? How does she have time and make the effort to do all these things for her husband, her children, her maidservants? How does she, sell all these goods, make all these goods, and do all this stuff? And it's because she's using the talents God has given her. She is looking to Him for wisdom and guidance. She knows that this spiritual beauty is far greater than the outward beauty. And because of that, she is praised for her works. She is valued among, the most valuable gemstone in the world, a ruby. And it's because she has put God's law first in her life. She has taken, the wisdom that comes from the fear of God and truly implemented it into her entire life. All the practices that she does every single day. How she, takes care of her family. How she treats others in business. And this is something that I really feel called to not only talk more about, but to dive into a deeper study. And I am making plans to do this in 2024. So Lord willing, if He establishes my plans, that there will be a group of women, and we will together dive into godly principles for our lives and business as we work to become these virtuous and savvy businesswomen who also have a thriving home life, that our husband is safely trusting in us, our children rise up and call us blessed. Like, this to me feels like the ideal life that I want. And if you're thinking the same thing, then definitely stay tuned. Keep in my community, get into my community, join my world, because this is going to happen. This is the stuff that I really feel called to not only talk about, but to teach, to work together, to keep myself accountable with other women on this journey to become like that virtuous woman. And so 2024, I have some really great plans coming, and I will keep you in the loop, not only here on this podcast, but also in my email list. Now, let me just tell you about my email list. I have in the past had a Facebook group and shared lots of different tips and had guests and did so much to help women, learn about marketing, branding, and also some other things to just help them on the personal level. And so I was like, the Facebook group is nice, but I really want more of that genuine one-to-one connection. And so instead of going the route of social media and continuing that way, where if you're like me and you get onto Facebook and before you know it, when you go in there to check one thing, you've checked 100 and forgot the one thing you actually went in there for. So that's a place that can be very distracting. Whereas I find that email, it's a little less distracting. Once you click on that email and you start reading it, you're kind of all honed in on that. And so I feel like that's a better space to just be one-to-one with you and just to share things directly to you. So I am growing my email list and I am sharing things from the heart to help you truly embrace your brand. And you can reply to those emails, ask questions, anything that you need. I'm totally there for you. So if you're ready to grow not only spiritually, but personally, and grow in your business by scaling your income, by scaling your impact, and also by just implementing biblical principles so that what you sow, you reap, and you reap the beauty and benefits that God has for you. Stay here with me. Follow me on more episodes. Subscribe to this podcast and jump in my email list. I will put the link for that below, and I look forward to seeing you there. So thanks for being with me again today on another episode of Embrace Your Brand.
If you enjoyed this podcast episode, please take a screenshot and tag me on your Instagram at Laura Glass Designs. Oh, and if you don't mind, I'd love if you would leave a review over on Apple Podcasts. I am so grateful for your support and hope this not only helps you, but can also help others. And that will only happen when we encourage each other and you share this. Last but not least, if you'd like to know more about how I can help you with growing and establishing your business brand, go check out my Instagram page. There are pinned posts with info as well as the link to my website and other great resources. You can find all this in the show notes too. Plus, my DMs are always open for you to drop your questions or just to say hi. I'll see you soon.